Hey everyone, welcome back. It's been a while. Sorry, I look a little rough and a little ragged tonight. These last couple days have been very busy. Busy by my own choosing, I guess. I've been exploring, I guess, the landscape in the national parks out here in Utah and in upper Arizona. So got to visit Page and Arizona and some cool attractions there. Made it to Grand Canyon. Um, Today I spent my day at Zion National Park and Bryce Canyon National Park. If you follow me on Facebook, I've uploaded a ton of pictures there. Um, Absolutely beautiful. I can't explain it. So, been fairly purposeful, during those times of walking some trails, just some short trails, and just sitting and reflecting and kind of, meditating, taking it all in. Yeah, just living in the moment. So it's been great. Um, Last time I talked to you about grief, I guess I've kind of not come to a conclusion, but just kind of processed that enough to know it is what I would say. It is what it is. I hate that saying, but that it's always going to be one of those things that's with me, for the rest of my life. And just as I had kind of explained before, right, it's going to come in waves, and just being accepting of that fact and understanding that, and knowing that over time, as counselors have told me, right, that over time those waves get smaller. Occasionally you'll get a big wave, typically around special occasions, that type of thing. So I've just kind of come to accept that fact and know that, and just know how to process that when it comes. Doesn't make it any easier, obviously, but just knowing that that's the way it is and that's how it's going to be. So, um, also had really the opportunity to kind of think through career stuff over these last couple of days. And if you know me, an entrepreneur at heart, I've always got my hands in a lot of things. And I think I've shared this before, not on this obviously, but just with I think with a class at Bradley and some others too. Like, well, how do you manage all this stuff? And well, you got all your hands in these different things. I have a pretty unique system, I guess, way to track stuff, to keep track of things, to make sure I'm not dropping the ball. Granted, I do. I know everybody does. I try not to. But really, what it's come down to for me, career wise, going forward, are really, I guess, four different buckets. So, one of them being the Peoria Innovation Alliance, the nonprofit that I run. Um, Still working on some visioning for that, what we're going to be when we grow up. We're just approaching 2 years old as an organization. So, just kind of thinking through what that's going to look like for the next couple of years and how that's going to function as a nonprofit. Part that is spun out of that as part of this recovery, long term recovery for our region, has been this Return to Better initiative. And with that, we've actually formed a for profit entity called the Return to Better Institute, where we're actually working with different and pitching to some different communities to take the structure that we built and actually take it into different communities that are trying to do the same thing that we've been doing for 8 years or so in Peoria, building an ecosystem, helping entrepreneurs, that type of thing. The third thing that I can't stop thinking about, and I know this is why it's important and why I need to follow my heart on this, because it's really kind of in my head every day that I've been out here, now that I thought about this, and this kind of came into my mind probably about a week ago while I was on the trip, was something that I started in 2018, but kind of put on the back burner. Still sitting there, has a pitch deck, has a bunch of work done on it, and the need's still not been met in the marketplace. And that is a platform called Autix, AUTIX. So that was created back in 2018 out of a problem statement that I experienced myself when I got my Jeep. And then as I got into the local car scene in Peoria, realized that it was a need that existed not just for me, but for a lot of people. And if you know anything about the car scene, in the automotive enthusiast, it is a huge, huge, huge market. And not just cars. We're talking motorcycles, trucks, all that kind of stuff. And the amount of money that people spend to fix them up, modify them, make them their own, all that kind of stuff. There's a huge market potential there. So that's all I'll say on that. But that's something I'm really passionate about that like I said, I continue to think about. And there's kind of something just sitting there on the shelf ready to go. So I'm going to continue to work on that and hit the ground running with that when I return, and even a little bit before. And then the final thing is kind of this bucket of side hustles. So some of these side projects that I've got going on, some freelance gigs, the Peoria Made stuff, helping my wife with her business. There's a bunch of other things that kind of go into that bucket that don't require like a 24/7 or a 40-hour a week commitment, but are things that I'm kind of working on the side. So that is something that I guess I've kind of rediscovered, if you will, of kind of bucketizing career things. And you'll notice in there, for none of those, none of them are an 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 job, just because that's not the way I'm wired, and I haven't been for many years. So, so tomorrow I head north up to see my brother in Ogden, Utah, spend a couple days there. Then I'm waiting to hear back from a friend to hopefully spend some more time in that area for a few more days. Decided probably going to not go to Moab because the Easter Jeep Safari just got confirmed that it is happening, which is an event in April, end of March, April, where like thousands and thousands of Jeeps come together in Moab. So if I'm going to come out for that, maybe, I don't know, but I'd rather do the trails and be on the trails with somebody else than by myself in case something happens. So, then heading back through Colorado, Kansas City, and home. So it's been great so far. It's been a fantastic trip. Really thankful that I've got to do it just to clear up confusion. I know my wife's got questions. I got questions. Everything okay? She had posted something. Why are you on the trip by yourself? Like, all's good there. No worries there. All's good there right now. And she's venturing and doing some cool new stuff with a friend of hers on the social media side. I'm figuring this stuff out for myself. Just still having some things to work through on the emotional side. Just things that my counselor have told me, things I'm internally dealing with. I can't pinpoint it necessarily what exactly it is, but just trying to figure that out and still process that. So there's still some time. I feel sorry for you that are back in Illinois that are watching this that have had to deal with some really bad weather. It was cold today, certainly not as cold as it is there. At Bryce Canyon, at least, it was in the 30s and windy and blowing snow, but it certainly wasn't as cold as it is in Illinois. So sorry to rub that in. Bryce Canyon or Zion was absolutely gorgeous. I wore a sweatshirt and pants and was just fine. So, this was not a super informative one for y'all. So I apologize for that, but it was good for me, and that's what I'm doing this for. So, if you're interested in learning about the prioritization stuff and how I manage multiple tasks and projects and things like that, there's a system that I use for that. I'm also reading. I need to get back into my books and get back into journaling because I've slacked off the last couple of days. Called Atomic Habits, which I think a lot of people have read, but it's a fantastic book about discipline. And real quickly, that's one of my that's my top strength. I did a Strengths Finders thing back when I worked at Caterpillar in 2008. 2007, 2008, and number one strength was discipline. It's ironic because I didn't follow that at all with food, but when it comes to work stuff, I've typically tried to be pretty disciplined. So that's kind of what Atomic Habits is about too, is building routine, building habit, keeping discipline, doing all that stuff and doing it repeatedly. So that's something I really want to work on as well. But that's all part of that system and how I structure emails and files. And it's really complex and complicated, but it works. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'll be glad to share those tips and tricks with you. But yeah, getting up early in the morning, heading out to Utah, or I'm already in Utah, heading north to Ogden. And yeah, should have a good time reconnecting with my brother there and spending the day with him Saturday and Sunday. And then we'll see what the rest of next week holds. So thanks for joining. Yeah, I'll if you haven't checked out Facebook, check out the pictures. Follow me, follow this blog on social media at rediscoveringme.vlog. Put that on the screen, and we will see you next time. And I promise, it won't be 4 days or however long it's been since the last one. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.